Okay, so I could actually model the glass cup in two different ways. Okay, and if I want to model, the first thing I do is I mark the areas that I need adjustment, but usually I like increasing my vertex points so that I have enough space. Then I actually can convert it to an editable poly. So let's come to this mode. This will serve as the base because I already have my picture, the picture of the glass I want to make in my head. All this will serve probably as that middle where you hold the glass cup. So I scale all of this down, but I'm realizing that it will squeeze everything too much. So let's take this lower one, move it down, take this upper one a little bit, then take everything again. I may need to keep adjusting it until I get what I want, you see. So let's take this one, move it down again, take this one and move it up a bit. Okay, so these other ones can now probably form the other parts. So I've been able to create something. It's not perfect though, but if I want to now make it perfect a bit, I can go the extra mile of now adding some extra edges or loops to help me, such that this is what I'm saying. If I add let's duplicate this guy now, put him by the side and create a copy. So we're still working on this. If I add a mesh smooth, you can either mesh smooth or turbo smooth. They do the same thing, mesh smooth or turbo smooth. It's going to smoothen it, but look at what it has done to the top. I'm not getting that sharp edge at the top. The bottom is okay, but it's affecting it underneath, and you could see what's happening from here directly. You know, so I need to have something more solid. So what I would do for this one is I will come to the edge mode and add more lines. Okay, what I did was I did a loop. So you know, when you select one of them and you click on loop, sorry, ring. You remember? Do you remember this loop and ring? Yeah. Ring. It selects everything around but there's a shortcut. Select the first, hold shift and select the next. So it just rings it instead of you ringing. It applies to loop again. Select one, select the next line and hold shift, or hold shift and select. So it does that. Now I'm going to now connect. Okay, connect. It gives me room to add one line. I will probably want to have two dots. So let's take one of it and hold shift, get to the other one, so that we'll move this up a little bit. Take this, hold shift and move that down a little bit. What this does for me is that when I add a mesh smooth on it, you could see that it helps me to hold that base. Helps me to hold it more. I'm having a stronger influence compared to that other place because I added more lines. Now that means that if I do that same thing to the top here, I'm going to have something better. So I'm going to come back here again and temporarily put this up, come back to my mode and edge, take this shift, select the next one so that I can add a connect. Okay, and no, I prefer to, because it's not straight. No, let's make it 2 is fine. It's not straight. I would have said let me move it manually, but you see the way I'm moving it is not affecting the edge, the sides. But if I had not moved it like that and I had moved it directly, it will affect the sides. You understand what I mean? Yeah. Like that. So I would rather use connect, and why am I changing this to 2? So to 5. I'll change it to 2. I'll use this to move it up up very close, so that when I'm ready to add this, it will just give me what I need and sharpen the edge. Okay, now coming down here, okay, you see, coming down here, you can see that it has helped me to add a vertex here, so I can keep refining, but I'm okay with this. So over this I can add another edit poly modifier, so that I can modify it further and say, okay, on this guy now, let's take probably all the head. You can see that all that head is it has segmented everything, so I can probably say everything up here, delete it. So you see, I had to select on more than one space, so that it gives me this. That's option 1. Okay, option 2 is I can add a I can add a slice modifier. Slice modifier. All right, click on the slice modifier to become blue, so that I can see the yellow line, and I will be able to move my yellow spots. So let's say I'm here, for instance, and I say remove bottom. It removes everything from bottom. Remove top. It removes everything from the top. So you see, it can help me do this. So as I move it up, the more, so I just need to slice it a little bit. Just a little is fine. And that's what we have. So we have 2 options. Now my glass cup is a bit too thin. If you check very well, no edge. Okay, and for this I can add a modifier called shell. I'm deliberately doing all of this so that I can talk about the different modifiers that you can add. So shell adds more or less like a layer to what you're working on, what you're dealing on. So the outer amount is 1.0. You can make it inner or outer, but I think I prefer 0.3, so that it's a bit thin. Okay, you see, with this we've been able to create a glass cup successfully.
Okay, that hole is still there.
Yes, the hole will still be there. You can cover it, but let's leave it like this. The hole will still be there. So this is how another way you can model, apart from using lathe. Lathe would have just turned round, but I deliberately introduced this so that we can talk about other